Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy. In the last episode, we took on Dreadnought Galaxy, the very first galaxy located in the Garden Dome. And in this episode, we are going to continue on in the garden. I just wanted to kind of travel back to the engine room because we actually, I forgot we actually have another galaxy to do in this one. However, if we take a look, as you can see, we are not able to access it yet. So I just wanted to show that off just to remind, as a reminder, we still have that one galaxy left. But since we cannot access that galaxy to finish off the engine room for now, we will continue back to the Garden Dome. So we are getting close. We just have the engine room galaxy, one more galaxy in the engine room, and of course the rest of the galaxies in the garden. And we will be right on our way to saving our special one, because the starship or the Comet Observatory will be able to turn into a starship once we find just a few more power stars. So let's go ahead and dive right back into the garden, shall we? Nice little peaceful garden. But this time around, we have, as you can see, we have 3 more galaxies we can actually open. We'll go ahead and start with this one over here, which is Dreadnought Galaxy. All right, let's go ahead and dive right on in to Dreadnought. Our first mission is going to be infiltrating the Dreadnought. And as you can see, it looks like we have many obstacles that we are going to be facing in order to obtain the first power star here. All right, so Dreadnought Galaxy. This is one of the galaxies where I probably am going to die a lot. I'm not going to lie. This is probably one of my least favorites. And it's really odd because I've had nothing but good things to say about all the galaxies that we have encountered thus far. This one is probably one of the least favorites in my opinion, just because there's so many different obstacles. And don't get me wrong, I love a good challenge. For me, this galaxy doesn't really stand out as anything special. We kind of have just kind of some basic, as far as design goes, it's basically just like a gigantic ship, which is kind of cool. But I don't know, for some reason this galaxy is just not one of my personal favorites. Here we have a pipe. It's actually trapped in a case. Get rid of these goom beetles, take care of them. And I believe if we defeat all these guys, that pipe will be accessible to us. And voila, there we are. So now we can proceed on. But yeah, kind of like going back to what I was saying, now we have some more, you can see here we have some more side-scrolling platforming to do here. I don't necessarily hate this galaxy. It just stands out as one of the galaxies that I have a little bit of PTSD from, mainly because I've died here many times. And again, I like a galaxy with a good amount of challenge in it, and I'm not saying that I'm afraid to take on a challenge. I just have a lot of frustrating moments that I can think of in this galaxy, and one in particular is a mission we're going to be doing much later on when we take on some of the extra Power Star missions later on after the main story. But we'll kind of talk about that once we kind of get there, and I almost got crushed by those moving platforms. But here we have more of the gravity change functions. We'll be able to kind of change the direction of the gravity, the different shifting gravity directions. Switches, I kind of like that. But yeah, this galaxy in particular is actually 2 different secret star or extra star missions in this galaxy that I kind of despise. But you'll kind of see what those are once we kind of get there. Of course, we have more cannonballs being blasted up right above our heads. We want to avoid those. This galaxy does bring back a lot of elements from, I believe it was Dreadnought Galaxy, where we saw these cannonballs kind of being shot up. And there actually is another function this galaxy, ouch, that hurt. This galaxy kind of brings back from Battle Rock, as far as the moving platforms go. That'll be something that does return. I don't know if it's this mission or the next one, but we'll be seeing the moving platforms make their return. Where we'll basically be on a platform that's moving around, and we will have to kind of navigate around a bunch of obstacles while we're moving on the platform. So as much as I love that function, They do definitely step up on the difficulty and the challenge in this galaxy. And as you can see, we have another spring Topman that, or Topman that will allow us to spring up on these platforms up here. And as you can see, things get a lot more narrow up here. We have a lot less space to platform on. And these guys can be kind of annoying because I think they technically can knock you off. And of course, you can get thrown into those little lasers, which isn't good. As you can see, I just did there. We have some more spikes. So that's something that's kind of annoying. But again, I love a good amount of challenge. Just from my memories of being frustrated of dying so many times in this galaxy, I think it's kind of why this galaxy is just kind of doesn't necessarily stand out as one of my favorites. But nonetheless, you know, we are managing. We're doing really well actually so far. This part can be pretty tricky because you have these guys, which will actually, I believe they will, they'll damage you if you get caught in those little laser light beam things. But now we're on a different part, or different planet, and I believe there are bullet bills here that we'll have to allow them to lock onto us. That way we can, I think there's a few things we actually have to break with the bullet bills in this section as well. So they kind of bring that function back as well. And as you can see, I got hit there. That wasn't good. This part can be kind of challenging because there's a lot of different platforms that are kind of, and obstacles that are kind of in your way. As far as getting the path cleared for the bullet bill to break what we need it to break. So let's see if we can actually, wow, we're not doing, I guess that's not really where we need to start. Actually jump up here. I'm pretty sure we need to break something beneath one of these platforms to get it to lower or raise. I can't remember exactly. But as you can see, the power star is actually right over there. It's right up there, so we're getting close. Kind of misremembering here. See if we can get these bullet bills to lock onto us. Take care of these goon beetles. They're kind of in the way here temporarily. And that was a fail. Not what I want to do. This is going great. We're off to a great start in Dreadnought. Hence the name Dreadnought. And another reason why I remember this galaxy as far as nothing but bad memories is because when you think of Dreadnought, it just makes me, it just kind of fills me full with dread, so to speak. But yeah, we'll see if we can get these bullet bills to actually lock onto us this time. Okay, he went a little bit higher. He still hit the platform. Okay. All right, he did a little bit of a turn there. Still crashed. Not exactly what we're going for. I'm pretty sure we got to get him up here though. This is like the lowest platform, I believe. Can I? Nope. Okay. I'm just gonna bore you guys with like 20 minutes of me just failing to do this. That's what we're gonna do to start off this episode. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this guy. We're actually gonna go over here. Yeah, this is actually what we need to do. We need to break that open, and that will allow us to fill this planet with nothing but water. But now we have these laser beams coming down on us, so we want to of course avoid those, because that will be not good if we get hit by that, because that will cause damage. And those things really suck to get hit by. Trust me, I've done it just a few times. But anyways, now that we have the water filled up a little bit, that allows us to kind of platform a little bit on top of these lasers, which is actually kind of cool. I actually kind of like this idea. The fact that these things can, not only can they hurt you if you're beneath them, but they can actually help you if you get on top of them, and you can actually use them as platforms to proceed on throughout the galaxy. And it allows you to platform over to that power star, which I like that idea. Just the lasers can kind of suck to if you get hit by them. Of course, we have the return of the Mecha Koopas, so we'll take him out. Kind of nice to see those guys make their return from Toy Time. And we have a little bit of a maze here towards the end. I almost got seen by that light, but we went ahead and grabbed the power star. So we did it. Gonna head right back into Dreadnought for the second power star mission. Let's go. And it is Dreadnought's Colossal Cannons. Alright, so this is the mission I was thinking of before. And as you can see, it's very similar. It has a very similar layout to one of the missions we faced back in Dreadnought Galaxy, where we have moving platforms. that we have to kind of maneuver on while avoiding all the obstacles and cannonballs and all the craziness that we're about to see. Here we have a little bit of another function that's kind of been introduced in this galaxy, where we have the moving platforms where we have to kind of rotate them on a certain side. Wow, that was horrible. I thought I could actually make that. I can't believe that. But we basically have to spin on those platforms and kind of get them to I guess they're like little screw things, kind of get the, or bolts or whatever, kind of get those to turn in a certain direction. That way we can make it across to the other side. As you can see, if Mario's on the left side, they will rotate in the way you don't want them to go. So you want to make sure he gets on the right side of them, and you just want to kind of stick to kind of the side of it there to get it to rotate. But now we have more flip switches. Haven't seen those in quite some time. I like how they kind of bring back some of the earlier mechanics that we saw in the game, and that allows us to actually access, more parts of the of this area as well. And we have a bunch of little chain chomps kind of rolling at us. I love how they have the dog houses, because chain chomps are basically, I guess, inspired by, like, they're supposed to be like dogs, I guess, essentially. I mean, they bark, so why not have some dog houses for them? I mean, I think that makes sense. That's kind of cool. But anyways, we're going to continue on, and we have more rotating bolts platforms that we need to rotate to get to the other ones that will allow us to get to the other side of the galaxy. And it looks like we have a launch star up there, so we want to make sure we make this nice and good here. And of course we have more Roctos. So nice little challenge here. I kind of like this kind of challenge where we're basically tasked with not only staying on this platform and getting it to rotate to the other side, but we're having to play a little bit of volleyball with those Roctos that are shooting little green balls at us. So that's kind of cool. And this guy's dangerous. Those blocks are definitely not worth getting, because if that bomb goes off, he'll knock you off of that platform. Trust me, I've done it many times, had it happen to me. You don't want that to happen. But now we are in familiar territory. So yes, this is basically the extended version of the mission that we had in Battle Rock, which again, I like that they kind of bring it back in full force, make it a lot more challenging, a lot longer. So kind of nice, even though I don't really care for the cannonballs being shot towards my head. I know I had a little bit of a rough time with it back in Battle Rock, but this time I think we can take it on in Dreadnought. And like I said, there is another mission where we will have to revisit this portion of the galaxy again, doing some more intense platforming for another mission that's a little bit more difficult. So that'll be fun. That's not going to happen for a little bit though, but I just wanted to kind of, I guess, mentally prepare myself for that, because that is something we're going to be doing later on. But now we have, looks like we have another thwomp kind of in our way here, but we're going to kind of maneuver, because that's what we do. We're Mario, we're a platformer. We'll do a little crouch here, and I don't know if you can actually crouch beneath those cannonballs. Honestly, I don't utilize the crouch, that little crouch walk function a lot, which is kind of odd, because you think it would be very useful to use, but I just never use it. I don't know if anyone else uses that function more frequently. I've never really found it to be that useful in this game. I'm sure it has there are points in the game where that would be very, I guess, wise to use, but I've never really thought to use it, I guess. So that's maybe just a me thing. But anyways, we're moving right along, and I see we have more gravity changes while we are on the moving platforms, which again, I love that function, and I love the idea of having the different gravity shifts as you're on a platform that's moving on its own. I don't know why. I love that challenge, that mechanic. And of course, we have more spring vaults here that are going to kind of stand in our way. They're going to try to kill us with these lasers, but we're not going to allow them to do that, because not only do we have star bits there, but we have our next power star right up here, and we're going to spring right up and just grab it, because that's what we do. All right, we'll head right back into Dreadnought once again for the third power star mission, which is Revenge of the Topman Tribe. All right, so it looks like the Topman Tribe have actually returned as well from Battle Rock. So not only have we seen a lot of similar types of missions from Battle Rock, but now we're going to have a returning boss. And again, this guy's probably one of my favorites, just because I just like the idea of how you take him down, and how you can spin into him. But now we're going to utilize more of the spring Topmen. And of course, we have the return of the spiky Topmen, which we need to use to, of course, free the Lumas that are once again trapped in these cases. I don't know how these guys haven't learned by now. Apparently, the ones that were trapped in the Space Rock or the Battle Rock Galaxy, excuse me. Wow, that hurt. I guess they didn't learn their lesson and they got trapped again here in Dreadnought. Unless these are different Lumas that we just never made it to, or the other ones that make it to yet. But again, there's a Luma down there. Like, he should be able to use his magical powers, free his friend. And you know, he gives us a shortcut, he transforms for us, but I just feel like his friend that's down there is kind of useless. Because again, they have these guys have the ability to give us a new ability. Like, Mario has literally never been able to use a spin move in any other Mario game, and I don't know, they have the power to do that, but they can't literally just open the little you know, the little container that the other Lumas are trapped in. I don't know, something about that just sits with me the wrong way. But now we're going to focus on collecting these blue star chips, because we need to get all of them to open up another path for us. So we're going to utilize more of the spring Topman. He's a top man. And we're going to open up a pole star path. So that'll get us to our launch star right up there. We need to use, I guess we don't really need this guy again. Probably just pull myself up there, but I just want to jump on his spring. Come on. I want to make it look cool. There we go. All right. See, that was kind of pointless, so I don't know why I did it, but it was done, so it's over. So now we move on to a little bit more of a dangerous area here. So as you can see, we have more of those spike balls. This part really grinds my gears, because I've died in this part so many times. I can't even tell you how many times. So let's see if we can get through this smoothly. We're doing well. That's good. Let's continue on. There's a one up there, not really worth it. If I grab it, great, but I'm not really going to focus on it. I'm actually getting towards the end of this, and I'm surprisingly doing well, and here we are. And now this launch star is a pain in the butt, because what you have to do, and I don't know why they didn't just put an extra pole star behind it, but you have to, once you get to that second pole star, you have to let go, and that can happen. So that's how, ow, that hurt. That's how you can die many times, because yeah, I don't know why they didn't just put a third pole star behind the launch star, and I'm about to die. Like, I'm about to completely screw this up and make this awesome run look horrible. But you have to once you pull yourself on that second one right there, you have to kind of let go. And as you see, Mario kind of floats kind of mindlessly into the air there. You want to get him to float towards the launch star. For me, this is tricky. For most people, this is probably nothing. I hate this. Look at this. I mean, come on. Why didn't they just put a third pole star there? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. This part never makes sense to me. Because look how much... I'm probably sucking on this part so bad that people are laughing, like, watching this. But, like, this part really stumps me. And I don't know. I literally don't understand the reasoning for not just putting a third pole star up there. Like, this game's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have a few nitpicks that I kind of gripe on, maybe a little too much, but this part in particular is just the one part that I just don't understand why they just didn't add that extra pole star thing. But anyways, we're gonna try to attempt this and make it actually make it work. But yeah, so right there, boom. So get him to float. So yeah, you basically just have to grab it. Nice little epic backdrop there behind us, but you have to grab that second pole star and basically, like, let go of it once he starts moving towards it. It's stupid in my opinion. I'm sorry, but that just put a third pole star there. Just make life a little easier. Like, come on. Like, this game's challenging enough. Look at all these obstacles we're facing. Just put that there. Just one extra touch up. That's all I'm asking for. But anyways, enough of my rambling on. We're gonna maneuver through this little laser maze, which I didn't successfully do there in that moment, but we have a launch star that's going to propel us up to the Topmaniac. Man, I'm great with names. Of course, we have more spiky Topmen, more lasers. This is a similar entranceway that we've seen before when we fought this guy, so let's go ahead and jump right over, and we are facing off once again with Topmaniac and his Topman tribe. So yes, these guys have made the return. One of my favorite boss fights, because we can just jump on him, spin into him, electrocute the guy, and we'll just do it 2 more times like we did before and take this guy out. This guy is nothing For as challenging as and difficult as this galaxy is, I'm kind of surprised they put such an easy boss in here. But hey, I guess it kind of makes up for it. They're kind of like, hey, you're gonna have a hell of a time. You're gonna die. You're gonna suck on all these little platforms. But now we're gonna throw you an easy boss because we might as well even it out a little bit. You know, kind of. You know, we don't want to make you too angry and frustrated. But as you can see, we took him out for the second time. And that'll give us our third power star of Dreadnought Galaxy. Alright, so I think that's actually going to do it for this episode. So now we have 3 power stars from Dreadnought. So it is time to take on the next Galaxy of the Garden. But that's going to be saved for the next episode. So next time on Super Mario Galaxy, we will do just that. And as you see, we have 2 more we can actually open. So next time, we will take those galaxies on. So until then, I will see you all later.